These are the
15
things that I learnt while directing the Big Deal documentary. See, I didn't put a number in because I don't know what it is, but we'll fix that in the edit. It's one of the things I learned. I guess I wasn't shocked that money in politics is a problem in Australia, but I was shocked by the scale of it and just how much effect it had on our political system. And the transparency in Australia, particularly at the federal level, is very bad. I mean, how would you put it?
Lack of transparency, it just blows me away. What are you hiding?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I learnt that letting other people do stunts is more fun than doing it yourself. I mean, novelty science checks can be heavy. I was surprised we don't have requirements for political advertising to be truthful, or at least trying to be truthful. I mean, it seems like a flaw to me. I learnt you don't get a chair with director written on the back of it, not even my name. I learnt that transparency is necessary, but that it's not enough. And that really surprised me. I mean, yeah, we need to know who's making the donations, but you also need to limit them in some way. Otherwise, there can be this distorting effect on our democracy. Well, I think Christiaan said it a lot better than me.
Better transparency alone is, well, it's kind of like instead of being punched in the back of the head, you're getting punched square in the face. So, yeah, you can see who hit you, but it still hurts.
I learned that filming a movie during a pandemic sucks. I've done a lot of documentaries about climate change. I mean, Fight for Planet A looked at the solutions. Big Weather looked at the effects. But you can't really understand the climate journey in Australia without looking at the things we looked at in Big Deal, the donations, the revolving doors, the influence that certain parts of our economy have over our governments around the country. I learnt that if you have a good host of producers and researchers and camera and sound and editors, the director doesn't really do much. I mean, that's why, to be honest, I could have done with a chair to sit in, you know, like maybe with director written on it. I learned there are passionate people working behind the scenes that you never see. You know, they never turn up on the news, but they're working in community groups or churches or just meeting in little town halls like this. Amazing people that we can learn so much from. This isn't actually a town hall, this is just a set. I learnt the importance of continuity. I learnt that it takes an enormous amount of fact-checking to be able to represent fossil fuel donations as Duplo bricks. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's hard enough to find it on the AEC website in the first place. They should have something that converts money into Duplo bricks. I mean, it'd make it a lot easier. Just catch up, guys, okay? Is this natural? Yeah, good. I found that Christiaan and I have very similar reactions to things. I found $100,000 lunches equally shocking.
100 grand for lunch.
I also had that kind of penny drop moment when David Barrow talked about not letting cynicism prevent you from being engaged with the problem.
They want you to feel like politics is dirty, politics is all blackmail and bribery, don't get involved, leave it to the professionals. That's what they want you to think, so they have succeeded by making you cynical and overwhelmed.
I learnt that Christiaan Van Vuuren is not just a funny guy, but a beautiful, lovely guy to work with. Fantastic to be around. Well, I could never figure out how many vowels he had in his name. Christiaan Van Vuuren. There's like about 6 A's and about 24 U's in there. I also learned that he's incredibly good at writing a song.
If you're paying 20 grand for dinner, then it's not for the rubber chicken. It's to sit next to politicians and try and influence their decisions.
I was surprised by how many people defended the system the way it is, the donations, for instance, despite the fact that we've made changes at our state levels and other countries have made changes too. I mean, there are politicians that want to change this. I mean, as Sam Dastieri points out,
how boring fundraisers are with the rubber chicken, talking to a bunch of business people that pay to sit beside you. It's shit.
I learned that if you swear in documentaries, you can't show them in schools, which is why there's a non-swearing version as well. You can also get some school resources from the website. Funny, isn't it? You can't swear in front of a teenager, but you can screw up their planet. As you can see, I learned a lot from the Big Deal. And I think we have a pretty strong democracy here in Australia, but we can make it a lot stronger. If you want to get involved or learn more, go to makeitabigdeal.org. Can I come out yet? Have I mentioned that I didn't have a director's chair yet?